we call for a meeting and nip it in the bud.
Anomalies. I mean, ASUU has been tabling the anomalies in the education sector for a long time. I mean, this is their own
and then they've been heard.
And the federal government, you know, has also acknowledged that these anomalies, they're severe and, you know, terrible anomalies in the education sector that need to be addressed. What ASUU's major grievance is that it doesn't seem like education is being prioritized by, you know, successive governments. What is the Ministry of Labour doing about that to ensure that, you know, that the ministry or the education sector gets the attention which it rightly deserves?
You talked about agreements. How did they come about? It's by the Ministry of Labour intervening, calling the parties together, holding conciliatory meetings that end up in those agreements.
Which government always seems to fail to implement.
The implementation of the, you know, one thing is to have the agreement in place. Another angle to the process is the implementation. Most often, we have problem with the implementation for one reason or the other. Ministry of Labour at that point, what we do is monitoring. After we have brokered conciliation, an agreement is reached between the disputing parties, we now monitor the implementation.
Implementation on which part?
Implementation of both parts, because invariably when you have an agreement, there will be obligations and expectations from both parties.
So from your monitoring now, from the Ministry of Labour's monitoring, what have they found?
Well, it has led us to this stage now, where we have found that ASUU is still not satisfied, and they have gone on strike based on what they said is a suspended strike. And based on that, we have reacted in the Ministry of Labour by having that meeting on the 17th. They started strike on the 13th. They were informed formally. It was a letter written to the Senate President that was copied to the Minister of Labour. Nonetheless, we scheduled that meeting and held it on the 17th. And they said we should give them 1 week to revert to the government. We didn't hear from them. We scheduled another one on 29th, that is yesterday. And they informed us that they have transmitted their position by letter to the government through the Ministry of Education. And we called them up on the phone. I talked with the President, the Honourable Minister of Labour and Employment, also talked with the President of ASUU, explaining to him that this is not done, that it's not done that way. Do
you think our government needs to be more coordinated in terms of how it responds to the issue of ASUU's demands?
Government is quite coordinated because as yesterday, it was multitasking. The Honourable Minister was on the conciliation. The Minister of Education was busy trying to coordinate with the issues on the other side of the government, that is at the presidency. So it was quite multitasking. They are quite coordinated.
Was the Minister of Education present at the meeting?
That's what I'm telling you. It was multitasking. So they had to share out responsibility.
I'm sorry, what I'm asking is, there was a meeting called for yesterday. Was the Minister of Education expected at that meeting?
We knew he was somewhere else, so his representatives were there.
Did he let the Ministry of Information know,
the Ministry
of Labour know that he was in receipt of a letter from ASUU, and that from indications it's possible he might not show up for that meeting?
They talked that money. That letter came on that same day, 29th.
It came yesterday?
That same day. We were already assembled for the meeting when the letter, ASUU brought the letter.
Do you doubt ASUU's intentions to sit at table with the federal government and negotiate?
That would be very subjective. I wouldn't want to say that. I would like to say that we need to educate them further to know the basic tenets of industrial relations. You cannot resolve an issue like that of ASUU by correspondence. They're already on strike. And strike means you have to subject yourself to social dialogue. And such social dialogue is like we are sitting here, we talk.
Well, doesn't it also mean the federal government needs time to also go through the demands of ASUU's letter, the letter which you received yesterday? Do you think that would help, you know, in the next meeting that you have with ASUU, when you have been able to digest fully the contents of ASUU's letter?
That's why we have scheduled a meeting for tomorrow, hopefully. By that time, we would have digested whatever we need to digest from their letters. and we'll hold the meeting.
How hopeful are you? How soon do you think this strike will be called off?
We are hopeful. There's always hope.
You can't give a time frame.
It can't be a hopeless situation.
You can't give a time frame.
I can't give you a time frame, but we know we are hopeful.
Well, we have to thank you most kindly for coming on Sunrise Daily.
Thank you,
Mrs.
sir.
Clara DK is the Special Advisor to the Minister of Labour and Productivity. Thank you so much for coming on Sunrise Daily. The program will continue in just a moment. Please stay with us.